And welcome to another episode of the FitBod Blueprint. You've got Phil and Tyler coming at you as always. Tyler, how are we doing today?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
I love whenever people are like, "I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful." Like,
Yeah.
so much better than the, "Oh, I'm okay," or "Oh, I'm good." Like, no, I want to
Or
hear positive,
yeah, or living the dream.
right?
As soon as someone says living a dream, I know they're not doing great.
Right. There's always a ton of sarcasm there, and it's like, hold on a second. Like, I'm a big old empath. Like, I want to know what's wrong, what's happening in
Yeah,
your life. Like, let's get you on a good track, or let me
yeah,
at least give you like a terrible dad joke. Like,
yeah.
Tyler, where do birds meet for coffee?
Where do they meet?
At a Nest Cafe.
I heard a dad joke. I was told a dad joke like last week, and I was like, I need to remember that for you, and I've completely forgotten. Now I can't even remember who even told it to me. So I apologize for that. It was a good one though. It was good. Anyways,
Yeah, no, man, everything's going really well here. Finally starting to warm up, so that is fantastic. Love being able to get outside more. I mean, what about you guys up there in the old Canada?
we are in the heart of like the rainy season. So like it just rains for 2 weeks straight, pretty much. So it's at least warming up, but then you're not really like outside just because it does rain a ton. So it's kind of hit and miss right now, but we're getting close. Like this is the type time of year like I love gardening and I love being just outside. Like it's a big hobby of mine. And so this is the time of year where I start getting really antsy to like get planting and be outside and like it's still too early so you can't. So we're getting close though.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I'm not loving about being in a place that we're just renting is this would be the perfect time to be out and like getting the garden going. And the weather's been beautiful, and I see all of my neighbors are starting their garden beds, and I'm like, I want to be
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully understand.
Nothing better than homegrown peppers.
Yeah, I'm hoping a couple years ago I did a lot of hot peppers. Ended up making some of my own hot sauces. So I didn't do it last year, but hoping to do that again this year. Some jalapenos, some habanero, maybe like a ghost pepper, some serrano, and kind of do my own onions as well, and hopefully do a couple of hot sauces again.
Nice. Well, for the
Yeah.
record, it's pronounced jalapeno. So just so you're educated now.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, so today we're just going to kind of do a general dive in on home gyms. This is one that I get a lot. For those who know me, I had first started lifting weights in my dad's metal barn upstairs in Florida in August. So whenever I say it was as hot and humid and miserable as you can get, I truly mean it. But home gyms have come a long way since 2001. Back then, it was literally a adjustable bench that it also had the uprights attached to it, and it was like the little dinky uprights that are like middle of the shoulder. I mean, if that thing could basically support my that thing could support my frame and maybe like 100 pounds on top.
Yeah. Like kind of all those benches you tend to see in movies, right? Where it's just like how does that even support someone, right? And
Yeah,
it's got like the little rubber weights on the bench, right? Like I think of American Beauty, right? Where he's working out in the garage and whatnot. Those are the types of things that you think of.
yeah, and these weights were actually plastic filled with sand.
Nice.
So these were my dad's from
Yeah.
the early 80s.
So what you're saying is they're not calibrated.
Not in the slightest. These would not fly at an Olympic or a powerlifting meet.
No.
But home gym equipment, there's been a lot of surge. There are obviously channels where they do a lot bigger deep dives into this, such as Garage Gym Reviews, Kaizen DIY Gym, just name a couple of YouTube channels. But let's just kind of start off with like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
What I always want people to understand whenever they're thinking about making the switch to a home gym or they're thinking about making the investment, before you ever even spend a single dime or you start measuring out your space, The number one thing to consider is the mindset shift that there has to be, because there are certain people that are going to thrive in a home gym, and there are certain people that a home gym is going to end up being the biggest derailment possible. So for me, having trained home gym, commercial gym, I kind of flip-flop back and forth in the grand scheme of things. The number one thing that I like, so I guess we'll probably start with like a little pros and cons. For me, the number one thing I like is the time efficiency of it. Whenever I'm just in a super busy season of life where it's like, okay, I just cannot stand having the 15-minute drive to the gym, the 15-minute drive from the gym. There's 30 minutes. There's literally my cardio.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in that kind of a schedule and I recognize I'm going to be in that kind of a season of life for a year or 2 years, that makes a home gym really make sense. But with that convenience and the time efficiency, you have to have the mindset of being able to just ignore the rest of your house. And I know my wife is going to listen to this and go, yup, he is good at this. You have to be able to ignore that there's laundry in the dryer. You have to be able to ignore that there's dishes sitting in the sink. You have to be able to ignore like I could stand to sweep the floors, or I really need to make the bed. Like the biggest detractor for me, so one pro is the convenience and the time efficiency, but the negative for me, the con is going to be it can be really hard to have that line in the sand and to have that mindset shift of this is still my workout time. I'm going to treat it exactly like if I were going to a gym. Because if I was at a Gold's Gym or a Crunch or a Lifestyle or whatever, I can't just finish a set of, I can't finish a set of rows and then drive home and take my laundry from the washing machine into the dryer.
Yeah.
I mean, legally you can, and I don't think
I mean,
anyone's
you
going to.
could.
They're going to have a garbage workout. It's going to be 30-minute break between sets.
Yeah. You're a true power lifter now. Yeah, and I think I think that is honestly the biggest pro and con when we're taking a look at this is just being able to separate yourself because I think a big part and a big positive of having somewhere to go is kind of that like that routine and gets you in a certain state of mind to okay, I'm training, like this is now what I'm going to be focusing on for the next 45, 60, 70 minutes. And so I think it's important. I was actually just having this discussion with a client last week who does train at home on the weekends, and he mentioned how it is hard to kind of not just kind of clean up his garage as he's training. And we kind of talked about having a certain routine, right? And getting into that when you're going to be training, because that's going to help you get into that mindset of, okay, like this is just what I'm going to be doing. And obviously we're not professional athletes here, but it's kind of that same idea of they have a routine every single game day that they go to because it just starts to unconsciously get them into that mindset. And it's kind of that same idea when we're training, when I'm going to set up for a deadlift or a squat or something like that, I'm kind of doing the same thing each and every single time. It's just that routine. It's getting you into that mindset. And it's going to be that same idea of having a home gym where like pick something that can kind of get you going. Like if just to take your example, like laundry might distract you, well, make sure there's no laundry there. Maybe you do it right before or whatever that might be. You do a little bit of cardio, you do the same warm-up routine. Like just start to kind of integrate that as you would say if you just went to a gym. I think there's going to be some of that transferability where it could help get away from some of those distractions.
Yeah. 100%. It's easy to get distracted whenever you're training from home. If you've got kids, you either have to be okay with your kids are going to want to be out there with you, or you have to have some kind of a setup where your kids are just not there. And they know like, hey, especially if they're older and they can understand like, hey, that's That's mom's time, that's dad's time, whatever. But then that could also be a potential big pro for a home gym if you have kids. Like I was 12 whenever I started lifting weights with my dad. That we had a great relationship before, but that really solidified our bond. That really did a lot of awesome things for our father-son relationship that I pray one day I get to have that exact same experience with both of my kids.
Yeah.
So it can be a potential pro, it can be a potential con. I'll kind of chalk that one into both. Another thing worth just considering as a pro for a home gym is being able to personalize the environment for you. With home gyms, there's two different crowds. There's the type that it's an extremely photogenic Instagram like worthy picture of, man, I've got painted walls, I've got motivational and inspirational stuff, I've got flags or sports jerseys or banners hung up.
Yeah.
They've got awesome lighting, they've got LEDs. I mean, some of these people will sink $20,000 into their home gym, not counting equipment.
Yeah.
You factor in like, hey, I've seen people put full on AC systems and heating systems and insulation and all this other stuff that adds up, plus the flooring. I've seen people drop 15, 20K on this stuff.
Yeah.
Even in my garage back in Florida, where it was the 30 by 40 building, I had a 3-zone mini split.
Yeah.
That was like a $4,000 system to keep that large of a space cool.
Yeah.
So you can personalize the environment. You can pick the music. You can pick the lighting. Or if you're somebody that's more of like, give me a grungy, kind of dark, dirty garage that just feels like I walked out of a place that I'm going to get tetanus. Like if you're all about the West Side Barbell type environment, like perfect. You can recreate that anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Well, that is a big pro.
Yeah. And I think then just to even play off of that, as the con of that is, if you are someone that enjoys the environment of just kind of that self-motivation of having other people there, then that is that con, because you're just going to be by yourself, right? And if you do find that you kind of get motivated by having some other people there and kind of the environment of we're all here kind of for the same thing in terms of pushing ourselves and training, that's one thing now you are missing out on. Yeah. So there again, like it really comes down to what are you really looking for? What is your personality and what's going to be best for you in that fitness journey?
Right. Because that's a great point to make. It is kind of the social environment of a gym. And some people hate it.
Yeah.
Some people are like, that's the worst part of going to the gym for me. That's why I want a home gym. But for me, I think about like my buddy Adam. Okay. And if you appreciate art and you enjoy seeing somebody on their bodybuilding journey and just a great all around dude, his Instagram handle is CF Ninja. And like for me, Adam was like one of the highlights of going to the crunch that I used to go to, because he'd be walking around the gym, like clapping, like hyping people up, hyping himself up. And like,
that's the type of person I'd avoid. I'm like, dude, go away.
But like that, like me and him, he is somebody that I consider now. Here it is, like, I don't know, it was probably 4 years ago that him and I first met. Like, I don't think there's a day that goes by that we don't talk on Instagram.
Right.
And like he's we're millennials living in 2025. Like that's just how we communicate now. So I can honestly say, like, he is one of my closest friends. I ended up making one of my closest friends in the gym just because, like, hey, cool. But he was also somebody that I could trust to spot me. He was also somebody that, like, you have kind of a crap set and you just talk to him for 2 minutes and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm in a better mood now. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I go through training phases where it's like, you know what? I want to be holed up like a caged animal living in a dungeon. It's a dark environment. Where's my broody soul? Like, I want to tap into my inner 2006 like emo kid.
Yeah.
I go
a little chemical romance on and
my French.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pros, there's a lot of cons, right?
Yeah.
But first is the mindset and understanding what are you looking for? What's the environment that if you are going to go to a home gym, what is the environment that you are trying to recapture? Now, from
Yeah.
there, next consideration is going to be your space setup.
Yeah.
I have clients that have an entire basement, the overall footprint size of their house.
Yeah.
You can have an entire gym's worth of stuff in.
Yeah.
I also have clients that it's, hey, I've got the corner of my guest bedroom that's 10 by 10. What can I do with this space?
Yeah.
So know your space, know
Yeah.
your training style. What are you training for? If you're training for Olympic movements where you have to be able to hold a barbell over your head fully extended, you probably can't do a home gym if your only space for a home gym is your basement with
Yeah.
a 80-inch ceiling height, especially if you're a taller person. Like, sorry,
It's gonna be
that's
hard. Yeah.
not going to work. You better line the plates up between the beams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
know your training style. If you're training for just general movement, you can, no matter what, you can get away with a home gym.
Yeah.
So beyond that, it's know what is your budget. I'm very debt adverse in general. So for me, I don't believe in putting things on credit cards. I don't believe in financing your home gym. I think that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Why are you going to pay 26% interest rate or whatever credit cards are at now? Why are you going to pay 26% interest rate on home gym equipment with the realistic risk of you could end up not using it? Like
Yeah.
treadmills
You
are the
better use. Yeah.
clothes hangers.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, you're probably going to be able to speak better to, more economical options, like as we kind of go through this. And I know for myself, when I'm talking with someone about what equipment to get, I would say like, and I would say too, from just an economical perspective and the best bang for your buck, it's automatically an adjustable bench and some dumbbells. Preferably, and I know maybe they're not the cheapest, but like some type of dumbbell that's adjustable from that 0 to 50 pounds. So typically it's that Bowflex one. I don't know if there's cheaper options out there. There might be, but like those are my top two because I can create 4 days of workouts with just that. Now, yes, as we go along, I'm going to say we might want to start looking at some other things, but for now, you can get away with an adjustable bench. And I'm talking if you can do decline to full 90 degrees, that would be ideal. If not, flat to 90 is fine. 0 to 50 pound dumbbells, resistance bands maybe as well, but you do that. I can write 3-4 days of workouts and we can make progress on that for a really decent amount of time. You might get bored a little bit because of variety, but in terms of progress and practicality, that's where I always start off with someone.
Yeah. And that is a really good starting point. And this is how quickly things have changed in the home gym space. For years, if somebody asked me what's the best adjustable dumbbell for probably 15 years, my response has been the Iron Master Quick Locks because
Okay.
Iron Masters, the way that it works, it's a hollow shaft that the locking ends actually thread into, and
Yeah.
it's just two tabs that you line up, and whenever they're lined up, you can now pull the two end caps out, and
Yep.
now you can remove the square plates.
Nice.
However, there is a new kid on the block, new kids on the block, had a lot of hits, called the Eisenlink dumbbells. That they are essentially in some aspects they're a better design because these actually have like on the face plates of the weights, they have essentially like a male female to make
Yeah.
sure that you're putting all the weights in and they're locking into each other in addition to being spun lock into the
Right.
handle. But also there's a U-shaped cutout in the middle. So the problem with the Iron Masters has been that you have to stand it up on one end to load and unload, and now you're
Gotcha.
trying to get everything lined up versus these. You can keep them laying both
Yeah.
ends on the ground and just imagine if you've got a giant U shape that you're taking in or adding in.
Yeah.
They're expandable for a pair that goes up to 80 pounds, you can get them on Amazon all day long for 520, but they are
Okay.
frequently offered with a coupon that brings them to like 480 or 490. And
Yeah.
that's for two dumbbells, 80 pounds each.
Well, and people like go, shit, like that's expensive. But if you're buying individual dumbbells, I'm not sure what the average price is now, but it's like a
Dollar.
dollar or two a pound, is it not? Or more?
If you get lucky and you hunt on Amazon, you can find dumbbells and it's a fleeting price, meaning they might only be at that price
Yeah.
for like 2 hours, but you can find them for like $1 a pound.
Yeah. So like,
If you
think
think
about it.
about just okay, if I got a set of 20-pound dumbbells, that would be $40 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
$40 if you're lucky. That's for
80
one
most
set of
likely.
dumbbells. So it can go as high as $2 a pound. That
Yeah.
is
Think
fairly
about storage.
standard. Then you've got to store them. So the space saving factor of adjustable dumbbells is great. Now, and with adjustable dumbbells, you can go as expensive as you want. Like Pepin and the fitness company Rep, they worked together to make ones called the Repins that my buddy Chris has. And again, if you're looking for good people to follow on Instagram, the Stanton Approach is his Instagram. He's a doctor, he's a pharmacologist, great home gym setup, but he has those and absolutely loves them. But current pricing is something like $1,300 for the pair of
Right.
dumbbells. That can be that is pretty high end. That is very
Yeah.
much on the higher end. Now, one thing that I will note on the adjustable bench, my personal recommendation is if you can't afford to get an adjustable bench that fully declines, fully inclines, and has a 1,000 pound capacity or more, then just go with the Amazon Basics. It's a $50 flat bench. Because even if you are saving up for a better bench down the road, which you should be, that thing is an absolute tank. Coop on Garage Gym Reviews has literally tried to destroy it, and it
Yeah.
just doesn't. He's drug it behind a truck. Like, that thing does
Right.
not die. It's the cockroach of benches.
Right.
Now, the reason I say don't go cheap on a bench, your life is literally in the balance. And even if you're starting off and going, well, it's okay. I'm not lifting that much weight. Keep in mind the 1,000 pound capacity is the user plus the weight. And over time, equipment is going to wear away. Things are going to start to get a little weaker. So I know nobody that I'm programming for is walking around at 200 pounds and bench pressing 800. I wish I
No.
could have that
Yeah.
claim. But you want something that it's more than capable of safely supporting you. Now,
Yeah.
ideally, you also get one that you can add on like a leg curl leg extension if you're limited on space, but if you're not, then just go for a tank.
Yeah.
My next piece of equipment beyond dumbbells and a bench would be some kind of, I don't like recommending the 6 post racks anymore for home gyms
Right.
because it's a lot of dead space. And you can accomplish the exact same thing with a half rack that also has weight storage on the back.
Yeah.
Now, that can be had for $300.
Yeah. I mean, you can even get ones now that like fold into your wall as well, right? Like
The
there's
PRX,
some great options out there.
yeah, PRX, Rogue, Rep, Titan, they all make a
Yeah.
folding rack. So if you're limited on space, that's great. Now, what I'm seeing more and more of, and I'm happy to see this, is where they're integrating functional trainers within the squat rack. So
Yeah.
if I am ever recommending a 6 post squat rack, it's because it's something like the Rep Aries where they have the full stacks of weights. I think they go up to 210 pounds, or
Yeah,
I
something
think there
like
might even
that.
be the option for each stack is 300 pounds
Yeah.
now, where again, instead of the space being dead between post number 4 and post number 6 on either side,
Yeah.
it's two stacks. And then on the front of it, you have adjustable pulleys that you can have high, you can have low. It's a
Man.
great option.
Yeah.
With buying a rack, what if you're going to buy a rack, even if you can't afford that full-on commitment to that higher end, at least get something that it's a system that you're buying into that can be expanded on.
Yeah.
Because if you go getting some wonky, weird, you know, when I say weird size, I mean like instead of being a standard 3x3 rack or a 2x2 rack, like some of the cheaper end ones will be 2.5x2.5.
Yeah.
It's hard to find J cups for that. It's hard to find spotter arms for that.
Yeah.
You also want to keep in mind the hole diameter for your attachments because if you've got, if you've got a half-inch hole, like I'm just throwing out a not so common size, if you've got a half-inch hole, but most attachments require 5/8, or some of these heavier duty ones require a 1-inch hole, you just really limited yourself. You bought
Yeah.
something that can't be expanded on unless you're staying within that manufacturer versus like Titan, Rep, Rogue. A
Yeah.
lot of their stuff is interchangeable. And
Yeah.
even once you start getting into some of these, you can add in like jammer arms, you can add in leg presses that
T-bar. Like there's a lot of options. Yeah. So it's good. And yeah, I like you said, like I like how they're adding in the functional trainer because like that's always like if you get the squat rack, the barbell, and kind of what we've already talked about, technically you could be done. Like you don't really need anything beyond that in a sense. You can pretty much get away with that for the rest of your training life. And really, beyond that, it's you've got maybe some extra cash, you want a little bit more variety, and you're going to use this, for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, still to be able to buy into something that if you're not able to get it right away, but to be able to add on to, like you said, it just gives you some more options, and I think it can make your training a little bit more fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's to expand on what you just said. Let's keep in mind Lou Ferrigno got into the shape that he did for the 70s Hulk, which if you've not seen, I know I'm making a 50-year-old reference here, but if you've not seen what Ferrigno looked like in like 1972,
Yeah,
go take a look. He did that with just barbells, not dumbbells, just
yeah,
barbell. That was
yeah.
it.
This little rinky-dinky gym at home.
Well, and I'll say this also, phenomenal autobiography. Absolutely
Okay.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
If anyone's looking for a fun read. So keep in mind, again, if you're buying a rack, you want to think about, can it expand? So you could buy like a basic 4-post rack from Rep, and you can eventually upgrade it into the Rep Aries that has the functional trainer stacks built in. In fact, whenever my buddy Chris got his, that was what they sent first, was just the rack, because they were still developing the trolley system, the pulley,
yeah,
everything. But it was, hey, you can add this on. So that's my recommendation for if you're buying a rack, buy it nice or buy it twice. If you go getting some cheapo, like it does this, but it can't be expanded on to do anything else, you're going to eventually get tired of it. Like I made that mistake before, learned from my mistake. That was how I ended up having to get a separate standalone lat pull
yeah,
down machine. And the initial one that I bought didn't have a low row, so I had to sell that one at a loss to buy one that had a low row.
yeah,
And then eventually it was, okay, well, I'm trying to use this for like single arm standing cable flies and it's okay, but
yeah,
I sure wish I had a functional trainer. I bought a
yeah,
functional trainer. Unfortunately, I bought one, and when I paid for the assembly, it just wasn't assembled worth a crap. So like that's another thing to take in mind. Do you have the time to assemble it yourself?
yeah,
At the time, I didn't. I had a newborn at home. I had a 2-year-old coaching full time. I didn't have the time.
yeah,
So I paid someone to do it, and unfortunately, it wasn't assembled right. Second functional trainer that I bought, because I was like, that I'm done. I made sure that I dedicated the time to put it together myself, and that thing was like butter. Recognize, like, hey, for your expenses, are you going to have to pay someone to do this? Can you do it yourself? Do you got a buddy that will come over and help you? Because some of the stuff is heavy. Like whenever I bought my leg press hack squat combo, I mean, that came in 2 very large crates.
yeah.
Like if you
Those
had an
aren't light
apartment,
pieces of equipment.
nope. And like you're not getting that into an apartment. Like
No.
I saw on Reddit somebody made that mistake. They're like,
Yeah.
I didn't think this through, and it's in a crate. What am I going to do? And people are like, I just sell it on Facebook, man.
Yeah. Or haul it up piece by piece. Yeah. That ain't happening, right? Yeah.
So you want to keep some of that stuff in mind for sure. Now, the other thing that I'll say is this: with home gyms, if you've never trained in one before, take all of this advice and try to apply it to mostly keeping your shopping on Facebook Marketplace. Because the harsh reality of home gyms is that 99% of them end up going unused. Like I said earlier, the world's most expensive coat hangers end up being treadmills.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
find great deals on used and secondhand. Like I just mentioned the Eisen links that are a knockoff, and there are some downsides. They are just slightly larger in diameter than the Iron Masters. But I found Iron Masters on my local Facebook Marketplace for $300 for the
Yeah.
full eight. I think the other downside is Iron Masters only go up to 70 or 75 pounds.
Yeah.
But I saw that the other day and I was like, man, if I was looking for adjustable dumbbells right now, that would be a sweet deal.
Yeah.
So
Keep an
keep
eye
your
out.
eye on the secondhand marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Now,
sure.
be cautious of places like Play It Again Sports where it's still a retailer, even though they're buying the stuff for a substantial discount. You're not saving much by going with them. There's often no warranty.
Yeah.
And if you looked it up, there are even times I've seen like, the all-in-one home gyms where it's like, it's the fixed seat and it's like the chest fly and the chest
Oh yeah.
press and like maybe a leg extension.
Yeah.
There are often times that you can buy those standalone units on Amazon for like $400 shipped to your house, and they're pretty much all assembled except for a couple of moving pieces. I've seen them at my local Play It Again Sports for $600. And it's
So
like
yeah.
I don't hate the player, hate the game,
Yeah.
but just
Just things to be aware of. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are my biggest tips
Yeah.
for home gyms, biggest considerations. And if you are working with a coach, talk to them.
Yeah.
Like Tyler's client did last week, like, hey, I think about a home gym. What should I really do? Well, now also your coach is going to know, hey, here's how you need to adjust this person's program. Because, yeah, somebody with an adjustable bench and dumbbells at home, there's no point in me telling them, all right, we're going to do the machine high row this week, or we're going to do the leg press.
You
It's
do
like,
that.
well, we're not.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then I would say any equipment beyond what we mentioned is like icing on the cake, right? Like it's just all right. Now you're just filling it out a little bit more, and like your leg press hack squat combo, leg extension, leg curl combo. Those are just like bonuses outside of kind of what we talked about. So yeah, I think we covered it pretty well here today.
I'd say so. So that leads us to Tyler. Would you
What would you
rather be trapped in Jurassic Park with the dinosaurs on the loose, or you're put into a quiet place where you have to stay completely silent to survive?
Dinosaurs.
You're going dinosaurs?
Yeah, I don't think like I think about what's that, A Quiet Place, the movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like I would go a little crazy. So I'm gonna go with the dinosaurs.
You know what? For me, I'm picking Jurassic Park as well, and here's why. I fully recognize two different things about myself. Number one, I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I can't remember the last time I stood up without some joint cracking.
Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah.
Number two, I am very well aware of my deviated septum, so like that's just a normal breath
You're
for me.
dying. Yeah. Or
I'm done.
sneeze, like what are you gonna do? Like, yeah.
So I think for me, I'm rocking Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I'm rocking
I'm
Jurassic
with
Park.
you on that one. Much higher rate of survivability, I feel like.
I completely agree. Like I'm just saying I love Chris Pratt, but if Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec basically can survive, I'm pretty sure old Phil can too.
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go.
With that being said, I would like to try to find a burrito called a meat tornado for anyone who
You could
gets that
make
way.
your own. Yeah.
All right. As always, thank you very much for listening, and we're out.
See ya.